David is a quantity surveyor. This should be a walk in the park. David, down in Dave. Congratulations. Tell me why you're surveyor's hat. We will put. Did he just poke you? Yeah. You were supposed to start.
Where are your dogs this week, Ian?
Sorry?
Where are your dogs this week?
Are
they asleep?
One's lying by the French window. The other one's right behind me. I clipped them this week, yesterday and Sunday.
Another 8 and 9 hour job.
So see if I can focus. There's Lewis.
It doesn't seem 2 minutes since you last clipped them, Ian.
Easter. Bailey. Hello. There you are.
Very nice.
Done.
Something for you here, Ian. Can you? I don't know if you can see that.
The Dam Busters music. Sheet
Yeah.
music. Very good. Which instrument is that for? You?
Yeah, it's for mine, yeah. Yeah. It's only the tune.
Tune.
Yeah.
Paul, you're not related to Dave Wildman, are you? Who plays in the brass band for Sally Army?
Yeah, he's my cousin. Yeah.
Ah.
I play in the same band as him.
Well, I've seen you then.
Right, okay.
I used to work at Firth Browns with Dave.
All right.
In the 1970s and 80s, yeah.
All right. So when have you seen our band then?
In the Mosborough, one of the churches in Mosborough.
All right, yeah. Ron goes there as well.
Is he not in the band, is he?
No, sorry. Ron knows some of the people at that church.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Paul,
the church itself.
Yeah.
Paul, you want to do a session, a Zoom session of your band, and we'll put it on the website.
Actually, weeks ago, we all recorded a piece. We each played our individual parts, and somebody's putting it together. But I've not seen it yet, so I'm guessing it's not happened yet.
Well,
What did you say you play, Paul?
Put it on the site.
Paul, what instrument do you play?
Tuba.
Gentlemen, is my sound any better?
Yes.
Much better.
Right. I can't see you because my phone's not taking selfies, so I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Well, we can see you.
Yeah, well, I've turned the phone round.
Yeah, sounds fine. Sound is fine.
Turn it back, we'll just have the sound.
You could always do that and just see my bedroom door.
Very nice.
Lovely.
As doors go, that's a lovely door.
Fantastic. As doors go, that's a good one.
Yeah.
There you are. A door with a fan club. How long does it take to make a brew? Come on, lads, where are you? Here he is. How long does it take to make a brew at your house?
We're still two minutes.
I think you were tied up.
Toilet.
Oh.
I've been to the toilet.
Oh.
Sorry.
Too much information.
I've not got a video camera in there.
Screen. And there we are.
Thank you.
Keith, what colour shirt have you got on? It looks like a West Ham shirt.
No. Oh, don't.
Big Paul, do you feel comfortable with those shirts behind you?
It's a lot better than that one that John's holding.
Oh, I'm impartial. I'm impartial, you see.
There's impartial, and then there's what you're doing, mate.
You'd never
So do I
guess.
think the season should end and give the champ title to Liverpool?
You'd never guess, so I suppose. Never guess in a million years, would you? No.
No.
Should the season end and give the title to Liverpool?
No.
Yes.
No.
Why?
finish it.
Everybody else is doing that in all the top
Points per
leagues.
game.
That's in Scotland. Well, I said top leagues,
Not in Bundesliga, they're not.
aren't they?
Bundesliga.
Oh no,
no.
they've started again, haven't they?
Serie A aren't going to do it either.
Not proper football.
We'll get there.
Can't be the same without crowds.
No, it can't. Right. On the other hand, they're likely to lose £1 billion if they don't. So that might just have a slight incentive for them.
True.
What's happening?
Did he guided tour of Keith's house?
At least it's
Don't
not.
go in loft.
Yeah.
You see, he could be generous and give those shirts to Shirts for Africa, so that little Africans could be running about in United shirts.
We'll bring them back.
Lots of them are.
Yeah, I gave all my spare shirts to Shirts for Africa, so there's some poor sods in Africa running about with Chris Waddle's shirt on.
My God, that's cruel.
It is.
Just
It's
had,
abuse.
just had a message from Chris Turner.
Yeah,
He's okay for next week.
Oh, good.
that is brilliant, Paul.
Are we happy with
That's
that?
brilliant.
That's good.
Delighted.
It's better than me talking
Keith,
about
you're
Max
muted.
Oh,
Unmute
looking
yourself,
forward
Keith.
to that. Oh,
Keith,
looking forward to
unmute yourself. Unmute.
No, keep it like that.
Save Mike's Woosnam for another time.
Yeah.
I'm also, as I might mention, I'm also working on somebody else. So on them for the week after next. So
I believe Chris might be. I don't know.
you what, sorry?
I said I believe Chris might be, but maybe I'm talking out of turn.
Chris.
Chris.
Oh, Chris.
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 Yeah, Chris.
How
Well,
many Chris's have we got?
yeah, sorry. I'm
Supposed to
brains
be
gone.
mate of yours, Chris, and you don't even know that you're there.
Right, Chris, are you working on somebody for the week after next?
Whenever you say, Keith, that's fine by me.
Right.
Crack on.
I'm going to try and contact this person either today or tomorrow to see if they're willing to join us in a
Yes.
fortnight's time.
But we
if-
say, by joiners, Chris
if you
Turner,
could-
what does that mean? Will he be part of us, or will he be actually talking to us for a period?
I've just
That's his
asked.
career.
I've just asked him for his email address, so presumably he'll join us on this group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he won't be actually speaking, say, for 20 minutes or something.
About his
Well-
career.
I was suggesting that he would do that, don't you think?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine. That's great. I just
How-
wanted to be clear about it.
Yeah,
What
you're
we were
right.
expecting of him.
How long would you like him to speak for?
2 days.
Well, give,
He could speak for one
give-
session.
Have some questions for him, shouldn't we, as
give-
well?
give him,
On
it's
the
a
phone.
half-hour session, so give him 20 minutes and
No,
give
give
time
him,
for
give him
questions.
the whole session. Give him the whole.
Yeah, but if he's got the plan,
He
if
might not want
talks
it.
for- If he talks for half an hour, we run out, we run into the next session.
Yeah, but yeah, well, he can join
You can
the.
say a lot in half an hour.
I think start him and let him run on. If he's not finished, we'll go into the next one. So it's
Okay.
Flexible.
is that all right?
Yeah, I'm just messaging back to him now. Okay, I've done that.
Thank you, Paul.
Yep. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And I think we might do is I'll get in touch with Claire and maybe one or two others to say that we've got Chris Turner coming on. Would they like to come on as
You
well?
think-
People on.
Dave Redfern might be interested.
Oh, yeah,
Why not?
definitely. Tricia.
Hang on, he might have sent me a message.
Anyway, go on. Let's
So what's happening now?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Is Chris going to delete Brian Lara?
Yes.
I'm ready when they're
What impression?
So we'll move on to.
Chris, I've got the answer to that question you said as well.
Right, sorry about the misunderstanding. That was my.
No, it's all right, Chris. It's down to
worry.
me. Down to
All right.
me.
Are you
No, I've
gonna-
got the answer anyway.
All right. So shall I just give you my anecdotes and then shut up and let you do the questions?
Yes, please.
Question.
Well, I've only got one question, but I've got a load of stats.
Yes, okay, mate. No problem. Yeah. Okay. All right with you, Keith?
Yeah.
Right. This is just my few anecdotes about the great Brian Lara. Okay. And I'll just read it through as best I can. Excuse me, guys. Brian Lara, or Brian Charles Lara, as I should give him his full title, was and still remains one of my all-time cricket heroes from the very first time I saw him play, which was in 1992. He was a left-handed batting genius whose multiple records and the style in which he did things made him a legend well within his own playing career. The expectations and the hopes of the whole Caribbean nation would often rest on this one man's shoulders in 131 test matches and 290 one-day internationals. On a holiday to Barbados in 2004, I went to see the third test match between England and the West Indies, and I fulfilled at least two of my own long-held personal ambitions. Firstly, to witness an England team win a series in the Caribbean. It was 1960 something since the last time that happened. And meet Brian Lara, whose nickname was the Prince. Well, England won by 8 wickets inside 3 days with a very powerful performance at a completely sold out old Kensington Oval, not the oval that you see on the telly now. This was led by Graham Thorpe, who got 119 not out in the first innings. And when he went in, England were 119 for 6. And that actually won him, I think, the Man of the Match award. Andy Flintoff got his first ever 5 wickets for England. And then Hoggard, in the second innings, got 4 for 35, including the hat-trick, which just destroyed the West Indies. If you're interested, that's the scorecard for the game, and it's a little miniature bat, and it's signed by Matthew Hoggard. So that's from the actual match.
Fantastic.
The other ambition is I'd never seen a hat-trick. You don't often ever see a hat-trick in any game at any level. But I did see the hat-trick, and you don't often see that. So that was another ambition ticked off. When England won this game, this was only the second time since 1935 that they'd won at the Kensington Oval. The Kensington Oval was a fortress, and hardly anyone won there. And this was only the second time after 1935. With the match won amid some euphoric scenes of celebration, myself included, and the series now at 3-0 to England, this was indeed that famous historic series win that I wanted to see. But the pressure from the home fans on Brian Lara as captain was now almost at breaking point. On the 4th day of the match, obviously there's no play. I'm on holiday, so I decided to have a quick wander down to the ground. It was completely empty, of course, just to go and have a look, just have a look round and savour the moment. You can imagine my complete surprise when I went into what I thought was a deserted ground and a deserted pavilion. And as I walked in, there was the Barbadian Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Owen Arthur, surrounded by a police security guard, watching a full-scale practice by the West Indians, who had been called in because they'd done so badly. They'd been called in to net practice. I am the only non-West Indian person in the ground. And I was allowed to stay because I was so obviously just another crazy English fan having a holiday and enjoying the sunshine. So they let me stay. Well, for the next 2 hours, the net practice went off, and Lara battered for most of the 2 hours. It was a masterclass. And then when he'd finished, that's an amazing thing that I saw. When he finished and he walked back towards me in the pavilion, I thought, here's the moment. I've got to seize the moment. So I approached him. And he was extremely polite, very, very charming. And he actually signed my West Indies cap. Now, if you can see over my shoulder, I've had it framed. That is the West Indies cap signed by Brian Lara. And he signed it just when I've told you then. He also signed my Cricket Greatest Battles book, which is this book, which I'm pointing to over there. In that book, there is a chapter, a whole chapter about how Brian Lara scored 153 not out, again in Barbados. It was against the Aussies in '99, and the West Indies won by 1 wicket, with him hitting the final 4 to go to 150 and win the game, and put the West Indies 2-1 up. It was a staggering game. It was such a good innings by Brian that Wisden has voted that the second greatest innings of all Test match history. Well, Brian, who's now in the middle of the pitch with me, middle of the ground, began to read that chapter about his winning performance. And when you think about it, he's reading about the performance in the middle of the ground that he did it on 5 years ago. And we ended up talking about that match and his thoughts about the game. I wished him then good luck for the final match of the current series. And with that, my ambition is achieved. I have met Brian Lara. Brian then went to Antigua, of course, the next week, and he re-established the world record highest ever innings by scoring 400 not out against England. Obviously, I'm claiming a degree of credit for that because I must have helped boost his confidence during the meeting on the outfield in Barbados.
Traitor.
Sorry?
Traitor.
Can't hear.
Traitor.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I meant it gently. Now I've said it 3 times. It sounds worse.
I always want England to win, but I want other people to play well and
Yeah,
not to win.
of course. I understand that.
No, you do. In 2007, I went to the World Cup final in Barbados and I met a local artist called Art Edwards. He was launching a series of miniature statues. Brian Lara was going to be the first one of those statues, and he just announced his retirement from international cricket. Art gave me, and I'm going to say to you, gave me 6 of those miniature statues at no cost. All he wanted me to do was bring him back to the UK, build up his reputation, promote the fact he was launching this series. It was a remarkable thing that happened to me. The statue is unbelievably accurate. It is an illustration of Lara's 400 not out, and it comes complete with a miniature removable bat. Now, without breaking this very valuable item.
Be careful.
That is the unbelievably accurate celebration of Brian Lara, and the bat is removable. And Art Edwards gave me those, and obviously this one is in my pride of place.
Great, that, Chris. Great.
Fantastic item. So, just to finish off and continue that little story, when I come back to England with the 6 statues, like that, a good friend of mine in the world of memorabilia confirmed he was going to do a dinner with Brian Lara as the guest speaker, and he would try to get him to sign the 6 miniature bats. I said that if he could do it, he could keep one, give Brian another, and I'll have 4 back. And he actually did achieve that. And of the 4 that he gave back to me, I sold 3 at auction for fundraising for charity, and I kept 1 for myself, which you've just seen. In August 2009, I returned for a holiday to Barbados with my partner Christine. We again saw Brian, but at a distance. He was with Rihanna, and they were dancing in the street at the annual Crop Over Festival. And boy, can they dance. Well, that evening we went to a huge outdoor music concert at the Oval, at the Kensington Oval cricket ground. And we thought we might see him again, but it was impossible. The crowds were huge. So when we were leaving at about 1 o'clock in the morning, we were absolutely amazed, because as we're walking out, we're facing Brian Lara, who's coming back in. Obviously, his reputation as a night owl is completely justified. So we're leaving, he's coming out. Again, he stopped, he chatted to us, he was charming, there was no one else there, he could have just blanked us, he didn't. And he told me that he remembered the statue of the greatest moment in his career, and he himself had auctioned one of those statues for his own foundation, which he set up for in his parents' memory, Pearl and Bunty Lara. He then thanked us and went back to another party in the ground. That was quite a story. That is quite a night to happen.
Yeah, fantastic.
Brilliant.
I've never met. Thank you. I've never met Brian Lara again since that night in Barbados in 2009, and I probably never will. But my ambitions, by the time I got back, had been fully achieved. So thank you, Mr. Lara, but I still claim a degree of influence for his world record performance in Antigua.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
Was it? Very good.
Thank you.
Very, very good.
When you
Somebody
write
should
that down,
walk in with it.
sorry.
So tonight, sorry, but unfortunately we can't do that.
What?
We lost all that, Keith.
Yeah.
I was doing a parody of This Is Your Life, because he's never seen him since. Yeah, so
Right, okay.
And he's just
Breaking
walking
up a bit,
behind you.
Keith.
Yeah.
I'll
When-
shut up.
I'll just say, Keith and the lads, that when you write your notes up of your memory, you think that just sounds too silly to be true. But I assure you, that happened to me, and the
Brilliant.
remarkable thing
That's
about
an amazing experience.
the remarkable thing about it is Brian Lara was all throughout his life, even now, he's surrounded by people. People want to see him, shake his hand, talk. I met him basically, apart from my partner Christine, I met him on his own. It's just sheer luck, whatever you want to call it, being in the right place, whatever. But there was nobody there when I met him, and yet he's a man who's lived his life completely in the spotlight.
Incredible.
Did he recognise you, Chris, when you saw him again?
Yeah.
Did he recognise you?
No.
What he
But
did.
It was what he did. He remembered the statue, because the statue is very memorable.
Yeah.
And he told me that he'd never seen the statue until he was given one in England by my friend. He'd never actually seen it. So the chances are the 6 bats that he signed for the 6 statues may be amongst the only 6 that were autographed. Who knows? Who knows?
Fantastic.
Okay, can we run? You've got some
Yeah.
fact figures.
Yeah, well, I've got a question first. We all know that Brian Lara's got the highest ever score of 501. Which former Derbyshire player who was playing for Durham at the time scored a double century in the same match and also bowled the ball that Brian Lara hit for 4 to reach 500? Former Derbyshire player.
Ian Blackwell.
No.
That's a shame, because I used to teach him.
Really? I played against Ian Blackwell.
Did you? Yeah. He was in my GCSE.
He was so good, it was
What's it
frightening.
from?
So good, it was frightening.
But when I took him for a GCSE moderation, people thought that he wasn't good enough for a grade 1.
Wow.
I had a little word in their ear,
Yeah.
especially when he started playing for England.
Yes.
Yes.
Case proven.
Yeah.
So, anybody know the answer to this question?
Chris,
If anyone could read from that distance, the answer's on the scorecard, but I'm assuming you can't.
Yeah.
So you'd have to put it a lot closer to.
I'm not. No. Ron's. No, the question's out there. It hasn't been answered yet.
Kim Barnett.
No,
I think his second name is Morris.
correct.
Oh, right. okay.
Oh, Chestnut Man.
John Morris.
Johnny.
John Morris.
Right.
John-
Okay.
Supplementary. Who was John Morris's co-pilot when they buzzed the cricket ground in Australia in 1991 with a Tiger Moth plane?
David Gower.
David Gower.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when John Morris got home, obviously he was a member of the England team at the time. He was never selected again. Never, nothing ever happened to that guy again. He went back
David
to
Gower had all on getting selected again after that.
He was never selected.
Right, so some other facts about Brian Lara. So Brian Charles Lara, born the 2nd of May 1969. He played for West Indies from 1990 to 2007. Surprisingly, he made his first and last Test appearances against the same team, Pakistan. Other teams he played for: Trinidad and Tobago, he's a Trinidadian, Transvaal, Warwickshire and Southern Rock. 131 tests, 11,953 runs at an average of 52.88. Obviously, highest score of 400. 34 centuries and 48 half centuries. In his first class career, he scored 22,156 runs at an average of 51.88. Better at tests than he was at standard first class cricket, and he scored 65 centuries. Quite a few of the things I've got have actually been mentioned, but one or two odd facts about him, not facts. He hit 277 against Australia in Sydney for his maiden Test century, the 4th highest maiden Test century by any batsman. And the highest individual score between West Indies and Australia. He became the first man to score 7 centuries in 8 first-class innings, which included the 501 against Durham. He is the only man to have regained the highest Test score. He had 375, which were in 2003, which was passed by Matthew Hayden, who got 380. And then in 2004, he went on to make the 400 that Chris was talking about. In the same innings, he became the 2nd batsman to score 1,000 Test runs in 5 different years, after Matthew Hayden. He was the all-time leading Test scorer in Test cricket until he was passed by Sachin Tendulkar. He was the fastest batsman to score 10,000 runs, equal with Sachin Tendulkar. That's based on number of innings. And the fastest to score 11,000 runs. He's the joint 5th with the number of centuries after Gavaskar, Tendulkar, Kallis, Ponting and Rahul Dravid. most centuries for West Indies. 9 of his centuries were double centuries, and there's only 2 people beaten that. Sir Don Bradman and Kumar Sangakkara. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Correct.
There's only 2 people got triple centuries. Don Bradman and Brian Lara. Oh, sorry. No, I misread that.
Pete Redgulch get one.
Yeah, Chris Gale and Sehwag have also got 2 triple centuries. And he scored centuries against all Test playing nations. The last one being 2005, in the first Test against Pakistan at Kensington Oval, Chris.
Was it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Last Test match.
No, it wasn't his last Test match. His last Test match was 2007. I think it might have been the last home series against Pakistan.
And he scored 100 at Kensington.
Yeah, he scored a century. The one that gave him a century against every Test nation was at Kensington Oval in 2005.
Wow.
He became the 6th batsman to score a century in one session, which he did in November 2006. He scored 20% of his team's runs while he was playing, a feature surpassed only by Don Bradman, who's got 23%, and George Headley, who got 21%. But at the time George Headley was playing, there weren't very many others playing for West Indies.
That's an amazing statistic.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, that.
Yeah. He also scored a century and a double century in the 3rd Test against Sri Lanka. Now, where have we got this? Yeah, in 2001-2, he scored 688 runs against Sri Lanka, which was 42% of the team's total. Incredible figures. And he's also scored 351 runs on a losing side.
Wow.
And they were just some of the facts that I came up with, not just the straightforward records. Oh, yeah. He also holds the record for the most runs off a single over in Test cricket.
That's a very good stat, yeah.
28 runs off R.J. Peterson of South Africa.
Yeah, 28.
And he scored, some of the other 164 catches, and he comfortably averages above 50. And the last one, he was voted as the 2nd scariest batsman to face in the world's scariest batsman poll of international bowlers.
Who won it?
It doesn't say, but I would suspect it might have been Don Bradman.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It didn't actually say. I didn't pursue that poll as to who was the scariest.
Did he ever bowl?
I've got his bowling figures here, but I think you'd probably want to forget them.
Yeah.
In test cricket, he bowled 60 balls and never took a wicket. First class cricket, he bowled 514 balls, took 4 wickets, and he's got an average of 104. So I think he wants to forget his bowling average.
Okay.
Just to finish.
That's great. Yeah.
Can I?
Yes,
those stats were really well researched. Well done. There's some amazing stats you've got there.
Well, I thought the straightforward number of runs, etc., are fairly easy. Some of the others were more interesting.
But even then, it doesn't tell you how well he played. No. You can understand out, guys, why I made the comment that the Caribbean nations' hopes were frequently centred just on him. If he didn't perform, if he didn't get those runs, the West Indies in that era would probably have been sunk without trace. So the pressure on him in those innings was immense.
Is he still working in cricket, do you know?
He's got an academy, and he's still very active and he's still dancing.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Thank you
I didn't.
very much,
I
Ron.
didn't review his private life, so I don't know what he's doing now.
I wouldn't go down that route.
No, I don't.
Right.
We're
Okay,
back to the-
we've only got 4 minutes left. So, Paul, can we have a couple of your questions, please? Big Paul.
Yeah, if you like. Yeah, if you're ready. Yeah.
Yep.
Where is the world's biggest bowling alley?
It's got to be in America. Everything's
Las
big. in-
Vegas.
No,
Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl.
not America. It's not in
What's
America.
Chris tried to show us? Eh?
Is it Tokyo?
Hello? Sorry. I just had to
Japan,
plug my phone
yeah.
in to get power in it.
Tokyo.
Japan. Yeah. No, it's not.
Fine.
I don't know where in Japan it is.
All right.
How many lanes?
120.
Very, very close, John. 116. Good guess,
Oh,
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
116.
Is he on different levels?
Don't know. Who sunk the longest putt ever televised?
Oh,
Somebody like Bruce
Comedian.
Forsyth, I think.
Terry Wogan.
Terry Wogan,
Yes.
that's it. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Terry
It was
Wogan,
massive.
yeah.
It was about 45 feet or something,
Mm.
right from the edge of the green.
200 feet. 200 feet.
200.
200 feet.
Pure luck,
Terry
that.
Morgan.
Yeah.
It was
Terry
the,
Morgan.
Yes, it was a pro-am. It's in the pro-am.
Yeah.
the longest televised putt. Not the longest putt ever, but the longest televised putt. Yeah.
Right.
It was at Glen Eagles course in 1981.
I saw that.
Sorry?
I saw that.
Yeah.
When it was on TV.
Yeah. What event was briefly an Olympic sport at the 1900 Summer Games in Paris?
Painting.
Bristol Jewelling.
Painting.
Tug of war.
To do with shooting. It's to do with
Bristol
shooting.
Jewelling.
There's a second half to this question.
I bet there
I
is.
have to. It was the first and last time, for obvious reasons, ever
They
to
shot
be
at- they
a
shot at
part
live
of the
targets.
Olympics. Sorry?
They shot at live targets.
Correct.
Yeah, I remember that. now.
Correct. Live
Wow.
pigeon shooting. Live pigeon shooting. I suppose in today's society that wouldn't fly anymore, would it? Like, but, yeah.
Right. We're now
What?
down to 1 minute 20.
What is the most played sport in nudist colonies?
Badminton.
Volleyball.
Volleyball, correct.
Volleyball, yeah.
Is that from personal experience, Chris?
It's from observation.
Nature,
Okay.
Naked as nature intended.
Chaps. All right. Paul, will you save the others for next week?
Yeah.
Or for,
Indeed, yeah, yeah.
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 Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you,
everybody.
Chris. Ron.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'll speak to
Thank
Paul,
you, guys.
Big Paul the Biscuit. I'll give you a ring later.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
I've got Chris Turner's email address. I'll send it on to you.
Yeah, I'll ring you anyway.
Okay, mate.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
Stay
right.
safe.
Hi, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
See
Good
ya.
meeting.
Stay safe.
thank you.